on Absolute Radio.
Absolute Radio.
We're going to spend the day in Blackpool. So we're not in our normal studio. So there's a slight sense of, I don't know which button to press, and we're all looking a bit panicky at each other and can't hear each other. But I think the audience like that.
Yeah.
Well, exactly.
I do like to be beside the seaside.
Do you?
We love Blackpool.
Yes, it's different.
We've already been out investigating.
I'm enjoying because I'm in a hotel which is very much an Eastern Bloc hotel, but obviously you can get there just on the train, which is better.
Yours is a very posh hotel, actually. I came to look around last night. There were other people with me, I should add.
Yes, it wasn't one of those, well, why don't you come and look at my room? Which happened to me, I was in Ireland, and I was being driven by this woman taxi driver. She would be about 50-odd, and she looked like, how can I put this in a nice way? Someone had hit her in the face lots of times, not with a baseball bat, because that would have been a terrible caved-in red gelatine thing. Say with a table tennis bat.
Okay.
Lots and lots of times. So there was some pimpling, and but she was, like, bashed up. And she was quite a rough-looking person, but, you know, perfectly nice. I'm not condemning her essential human thinginess. And she was said, they've spent a lot of money. I won't do the accent. She said, they've spent a lot of money on this hotel, haven't they, when she dropped me outside.
Yeah.
I said, the rooms are lovely. You should come in and have a look. And she went, well, I don't know about that. In a very, like I was trying to get her in for sauciness. God, that was a close one. She's the sort of woman that could have just pulled your arms off. Not that makes her bad. I mean, I'm all for strong women.
We should explain why we're actually here, Frank, shouldn't we?
Oh, no, I can't be bothered with that. So, Yes, we're here because I'm doing a documentary about George Formby, and the George Formby convention is in Blackpool this week.
I thought it was George Foreman, so I was looking forward to getting a free grill, but there you go.
No, I'm sorry. But I've got this with me. This is my ukulele, and I've got to play this in front of the convention, and they are aficionados, right? They know every note that George plays, so I am quite nervous about it.
Oh, you'll be fine.
No, really, though. With me little stick of Blackpool rock, down the promenade I stroll. It might get sticky, but I never complain. It's nice to have a nibble at it now and again. You see where he's coming from, George? Yeah.
Rage Against the Machine have covered that.
Have they? Well, I won't be downloading that this Christmas, I don't think. We've got Chris Ramsey on the show today. He's one of these up-and-coming young comics, you know. Some comedians of my generation see as a threat. Not me.
Not you.
Let them all come. Yeah, so I've been... I met the mayor of Blackpool yesterday.
Did you? You're always hanging out with the mayor somewhere or other.
Yeah, I've met a few mayors. It's a bit like being a goat. It's meh, this and...
So what happened with the mayor?
Well, he turned up... It was interesting because he is in a wheelchair, God bless him. But the chauffeur, who normally drives his official car, when he gets out and puts him in the wheelchair, the chauffeur pushes him.
Oh.
Obviously, because he's in the wheelchair. So he still chauffeurs him.
Okay.
But the chauffeur said it's quite nice to be behind him for a change. Don't you dare say a word. So we spoke to the mayor, and he told me about this thing that they're building in Blackpool, which It was an interesting conversation, but in some ways traumatic. They're building a thing, and it's really expensive. It's called the Comedy Carpet.
Oh, I like the sound of that.
And the Comedy Carpet is, it's this enormous thing on the headland. He kept saying it's up on the headland. I don't know what that means. But anyway, I kept saying, yes, Mr. Mayor. I called him Mr. Mayor, which was brilliant. And apparently what it is, it's a tribute to British comedy. So it's loads of... jokes done by various comedians, and then you just wander around this enormous... It's granite slabs, so it's not really carpet.
It's not actual carpet outside.
No, I don't think I'd have... I said I'd be happy to qualify for the comedy underfelt, but no, I'm on it. So we were talking about it because George Formby is on it, but it turns out that I'm on it as well, and they've selected a joke to represent my entire career, so that you just get one joke on there, and that tells people everything about you and who you are.
What is the joke?
I'll tell you after this.
Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio. Absolute Radio.
as we were saying, we're in Preston at the moment. Let's not lie to the listeners.
Yeah.
But we will be in Blackpool at the...
It's in a place called Lancashire.
It is, yes. You've looked it up, haven't
Yeah.
you? They gave me a map at my hotel, actually, speaking of geography. I said, have you got a map of Blackpool? And they said, yes, certainly, sir. So they gave it me, and I said, where's the hotel? They said, the hotel's not on it. It's not that helpful. So, anyway.
I call it Preston. I just prefer the sound of that.
Anyway, so, so my joke on the comedy carpet.
Oh, yeah, go
now,
on.
I've spent many years working and grinding at writing comedy and trying to develop and evolve, you know?
Thinking that one day it might be immortalised in marble.
Exactly. So the joke they've chosen is, people say dogs are intelligent, but I never trust an animal that is surprised by its own farts. That will represent my career for generations to come.
I would have said you've got stronger bits.
Well, yeah, I'd have thought so.
Well, I'd have said so, definitely.
But that's it. That's what I don't know. And I said to the mayor, "Who chose this, Mr. Mayor?" And he said, "Oh well, I couldn't tell you that."
Oh, you didn't have a row with the mayor. That's embarrassing,
I wrestled
Frank.
him. I got him out of his chair by the chain. I dangled him over the edge of the pier and says, "Look." No, so that's it. So when you go up there, don't be too shocked that's on the comedy carpet.
Oh, is it there now?
Well, it will be
one
there.
day.
That's why I said when you go up there.
Yes,
See, there was a
okay.
sense of future tense about the whole thing. If you choose to ignore that, then that's how you get that confusion. That Peaches Geldof, you see, who's been in the paper this week with no clothes on.
Oh,
I'll tell you what's interesting
dreadful
about her.
creature.
Is that you can tell she's a posh bird even when she's naked.
How?
It's very hard to explain. It's something to do with the way the mouth hangs.
Really?
The Habsburg chin. Yeah. And so you can just know. If you saw her naked, you'd think, as soon as she speaks, she's going to be, oh, well, I really, really could do it. And I was like, you just know.
Is it because she looks a bit like an oil painting? Because you see posh people naked in oil paintings.
Yeah, you do
In
see
the olden
that.
days.
Yeah. Oh, I know what you mean in the olden days, yeah.
I can show you what that looks like very easily, but I'm not prepared to.
Well, you're not. See, it shows you're not posh, because I reckon if you were naked, we wouldn't be certain that you were posh.
Can we please not talk about this?
You think Em would look a bit rough naked? Like she could be.
No, I'm definitely not. I can't believe
No,
you
not
said that.
I can't either.
I meant rough as in common.
I'm going to
Is that okay? Oh, dear.
Also at my hotel, the toilet seat, I've noticed. This isn't a toilet joke, although it is set in the toilet. I mean, as you will have known last night when I gave you the grand tour of my suite.
Well, you did, yeah.
Yes.
The ambassador's
Eyebrows were
suite.
raised.
Don't say what suite it is,
sorry.
for God's sake. I don't want people knocking on my... Oh, I can't believe it. So,
If we're going to rechange Frank's room.
yeah, I don't want Bob Geldof turn up and saying, what have you been seeing of it, mate? Oh, no, he's not Scottish. Yes, or her turning up and saying, oh, I was, like, insulted, and you kind of suggested I was, like, got an absolute chin, and you kind of, like, I was, like, tattooed. Tattooed. I don't want that happening at
You
the...
can tell she's Peaches naked because she's furry all over.
Yes.
Peaches.
And I think I spot... No. So, I forgot what I was talking
We
about.
were we were in your hotel suite.
Well, the fabulous thing about my toilet, my sitting-down toilet, is...
I love anecdotes that begin with a sentence like that.
Yeah, it's that for some strange reason, there's a wicker chair right next to the toilet, right opposite. So you could be on the toilet, I mean, doing the proper toilet
Doing
thing.
the do.
And you could be having maybe a game of chess.
Yeah.
Or,
Oh, nice to have some company while you're in
yeah,
there.
I think that, because I get quite lonely on the toilet sometimes. And, so you can take a newspaper, but it's not like a bit of human contact,
Same.
is it? So people can come and sit in the wicker chair and have a chat while you do all that.
Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio. Absolute Radio.
I was on about my toilet seat in my Blackpool hotel.
Oh, yeah.
And it's
The wicker
got,
chair.
It's got the... Yeah, we'll forget the wicker chair. Can I say it's remained empty for my trip?
Oh, I should hope so.
That when a man has to sometimes lift the seat and sometimes raise it, and it just needs a little bit of oil, and it squeaks, and it sounds exactly like Sweep from the Sutton Show. I mean, you could tape it and put it on, and no one would even notice a thing. And there's something very uplifting, really, when you or downlifting, obviously, depending on what you're about to do. Is that it sort of makes me smile every time I move that toilet seat. And then, coincidence of coincidences, yes, I was on the pier, on the North Pier at Blackpool, and there's a plaque that says, very near this spot, they don't want to be too precise.
No.
Harry H. Corbett discovered sooty.
Wow.
Now, Harry H.
What, was it lying on the floor or something?
I think it was. I think it was begging.
A child's discarded toy.
It was holding up it's mute. Sooty. It's holding a card. Hungry, homeless, and acrylic. Yeah. So that was very. I think it must have been in a shop or something. I suppose.
Oh.
I imagine there was a glove and then the head from a teddy bear that had sort of blown along and blew into a formation.
Oh, it's like a fabulous twist of fate.
Well, I'm going to the pier later. I'm going to go to the fortune teller there.
Oh, Madam Petra Lengo, whatever she's called.
Oh, you're on first name terms all of a
No,
sudden.
well, I noticed her
going
shop
on?
because it's the celebrity fest in the window. Photos of people she's.
Oh, really?
read. Yeah. Jeremy Kyle, she read his fortune, and still he continued. Can you believe that? His fortune. She read it. She said you're going to meet a lot of very, very unpleasant people, some of whom have been having irregular sex lives and exploiting their family. And apparently, it's frighteningly accurate. She also told Brian Conley he was going to end up living in America. So, we'll see.
Well, there you go.
We'll keep you updated on that on the show. Oh, my goodness me. So, anyway, yes, we are in the northwest of England. It's very lovely in many ways.
I tell you who didn't go on their holiday to Blackpool.
Oh.
Jamie and Louise Redknapp. Have you seen their new advert?
Well,
They've got
I love the way you fled in on that
I
one.
know.
Yeah,
That's far too professional for us.
I didn't see that coming.
Let's not draw attention to it, and then we can just move on.
Don't get touchy. You're reachable from here, Just it's a bigger desk. Don't think I couldn't throw myself across it and take you by the lapels if you had lapels and not some sort of student T-shirt. Yes.
It's the same T-shirt he wears every Saturday.
I do not wear this T-shirt every Saturday.
You do, the same old cardigan T-shirt.
Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio.
Absolute Radio.
Oh. When I was coming in the car this morning, I heard a radio station, I think it was Magic FM, some of the blokes. So he started by saying, we got a great show for you this morning. And I thought, I never do that because I don't really know.
No.
It might be not that good, right? And then I don't want to lie to people. So,
You can't preempt it.
No, you can't. We'll have to see. I'll say it at the end. Maybe we can have a debriefing.
We've had a text in. Now, they've remained anonymous, perhaps quite sensibly, because they are correcting you. And this anonymous listener is saying, Frank, is Harry H. Corbett not the son in Steptoe and Son and not the person behind Sooty and Sweet?
Oh, actually, this person is absolutely correct. I'm going to say she because I don't want to assume, it's a man who's got this correct. Yes, it's actually Harry Corbett who did.
Oh, okay. What's an H between friends?
Well, no, it would have been quite a different show. Oh, where have you? But you dirty, dirty little bear. Well, I didn't know. Little Sooty's got a voice. Whose idea was that? Ah, you dirty little bleeder. Oh, God, Sooty, you do disgust. Move that, stop that toilet seat. It would have been a different show altogether.
One I would have watched, I have to say.
Well, I would have. Yeah, I'd love to have heard Sooty with a voice. I'm surprised they didn't try that. When the career started to dip a bit, and they thought, have a meeting. We need to do something new with Sooty. What about a voice? Because they changed Sue. Remember Sue, the panda, the female panda, who was like the love interest.
Oh, I found her a bit sappy.
When she first started
She was
talking,
bossy. She was quite posh and bossy.
And you...
Excuse me?
And you're quite quiet, and I'm a bit squeaky.
Yeah, I only talk in your ear.
Yeah, this is weird. Hold on, who's this old man reaching down through the roof of the studio and whoa? Yeah. Now, Sue, when she first started talking, used to go, "Oh, Mr. Corbett."
Oh, really?
That was her voice, yeah. And then one series, suddenly it was a very, nice middle-aged woman's voice, and they stopped the, oh! They obviously decided that was grating, even on small children. They couldn't stand it.
There's been another text in from Nigel in Luton. Morning, Frank. We're listening to you on our free sap through the TV, and my girlfriend's 6-year-old daughter just looked at the TV and read the screen information and said, now on Frankenstein. Oh.
From Frank Skinner. Well, that's pretty close.
Oh, that's very clever of her.
And I was assembled from various other different people. And that, that bloke with the weird back who went to get my brain, and then he dropped it and ended up bringing the brain of a end-of-the-pier comedian from the 1950s. And that explained so much. So thanks for that, Igor, if you're listening, Mr. Igor. Do you think he got letters addressed to Mr. Igor? Anyway, you were on about Jamie Redknapp. We don't know why.
Yeah. That ad you were going on about.
Speaking of ads, sorry, before you go on to this, did you see that, Lenny Henry's Premier Inn?
Oh, he's not still doing those ads, is he? Those Premier Inn
But
ones.
the one when they do like The Shining, he smashes the door down and puts his head and says, "Here's Lenny." And then there's like a nice Lenny standing next to him. It's a very clever split-screen technique. Apparently they can't show it on children's television.
Why?
Now, because Harry H. Corbett says, "Hi." No, it's because... it's too frightening for children. Lenny's performance is so convincing that it terrifies small children.
Yeah.
I can believe that.
Those adverts are quite scary for comedians as well.
Why?
I find them chilling.
Do you? I find it very chilling when he really... Because he's quite big now, Lenny. When he throws himself back and lands on that bed, I think, I'm so glad I'm not in the room below. They should cut to the room below and plaster coming down. But what on earth?
Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio. Absolute Radio.
So we was talking about what's with adverts. Yes, and we thought we've decided in our conversation that we thought we'd have a phone-in. No, not a phone-in, because...
We don't do phone-ins. We don't have the facilities.
We don't do that. It's too complicated.
Emails, yeah.
Texts. A texting on which celebrity advert you think was the biggest mistake like that. What would you go for?
Oh, there's so many. Where do you start?
Mine at the moment is I don't know if you've noticed, but James Corden is doing the Toby Carvery adverts.
Is he?
Yeah.
No, he is not.
He really is.
He's not.
He really is.
What, you two could look like that if you ate at these restaurants?
Yeah. Does he dress as a jug?
No, he's not. It's
He
just
doesn't
his
need
voice.
to.
But I mean, I bet.
Oh, it's his voice.
I bet they paid him in gravy. Do you think?
I'd love the idea of being paid in gravy. One of those big oil tankers that you see pull up at the garage, and then him taking in the big tube, just filling with gravy.
My client is being paid in savouries. That was the deal.
No, I haven't even heard that. I don't know. It's just the voiceover. Yeah. The one that got me was when... Do you remember when Norwich Union became Aviva?
Oh, yeah.
They got some enormous names. They had Ringo Starr saying, "Would I still be famous if I'd been called Richard Starkey?" And I think, well, we haven't quite got over the fact you're famous anyway. Don't make it more complex with what ifs. No. So,
Norwich is still called Norwich, though, isn't it?
I think Norwich has retained its title, yeah.
Okay.
And I think the Union, well, not only has the Unions kept their titles, but they're
doing better than ever.
It seemed to have encouraged their confidence. Losing the Norwich Union angle. Now they think, well, now we've got our unionness back, let's stop the whole country. Why not? I don't care. I'm not flying anywhere anyway. Carry on, lads. So what was the advert you said?
Well, I didn't like... Well, I also don't like the Jamie and Louise one, because I don't like that he's playing football or keepy-uppy on the beach, and he's wearing a suit, and only tramps do that, wear suits on the beach.
I once saw a man in Eastbourne. He was... You know when you lie in that sort of traditional sunbathing, you lie in like a crucifix position on the beach, and he lay completely flat out, no towel under him or anything, just flat out, like on his back on the beach. And he had, not only did he have a suit on, but it included a waistcoat and tie. And he was sunbathing, dressed like... I thought he'd fallen out of a helicopter. It was absolutely odd. I should own up, by the way, that I have done that. The lowest I think I have ever sank in my career was when I said, every little helps.
You did,
I did one of those for their Slimline... I won't name the brand, but you know what it is. Their Slimline Christmas tree.
Oh, I think we had one of them.
You had a Slimline Christmas tree? Well, there you are. It's a very appealing advert. I think a lot of people who would never normally have bought a Slimline. I don't know why you need a Slimline, unless if you live in an elevator. Yeah,
we did live in an elevator.
Did you? Okay. Yeah. Well, it has its ups and downs. Yeah. I'm terribly sorry, everyone.
Oh.
Well, as I said, if Igor hadn't brought that brain from the 50s mainstream comic, we'd be absolutely all right.
Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio. Absolute Radio.
We've had so many fabulous texts in on 81215 in response to this.
Let's hear them.
Advert call out. So we've got Matt from Guildford says Dale Winton in Cash for Gold.
That's what I like about that, though. He's such a method actor. He's actually gold in the advert. No, but I'm just thinking David Dickinson also does a gold, sending you gold, and he's also gold. That's how they've chosen the people that do it.
Gabby has suggested Lord Laurence Olivier plugging Polaroid cameras. Oh, Gabby, I like you.
Gabby?
Well, I don't know, but I love her. Or Orson Welles flogging Sherry.
Oh, I remember Orson Welles flogging Sherry's. Oh, God, I need a sherry. Yeah. It was, I'll tell you Orson Welles, there's some, is that a wasp in here? There's some fabulous outtakes. He did an advert for Findus Fish Fingers.
Yeah.
Orson Welles did frozen food. And they left in, there's a tape of him talking to the director, and he's really horrible to him. Talking about the script.
That would be quite intimidating, though, wouldn't it, directing Orson Welles?
There's a bit where he says, and what do you think I should say, you in the depths of your ignorance? Oh, no, yeah.
Oh, awesome.
I mean, you don't want that kind
He was only doing the ad so he could spend it on buying more cake. Exactly. He wanted to eat more.
I thought that company, Orson Welles, would have been interested in him endorsing them. You know, the ones that did really good Wells.
Oh, yeah.
Orson Welles, because it sounds like Orson Welles. Ray Winston in the Kellogg's, and I'm not going to tell you what to do.
You know, I've seen that advert. I've seen that advert 20 times. I had no idea what he was telling us about Ray Winston.
David in Nottingham has also said, and also that bird from Countdown trying to get people into deeper debt.
Yeah, I think that'll be a reference to Carol Vorderman.
Your neighbour.
Unless Rachel Riley just hangs around his street trying to sell people real estate, which I think is unlikely. Well, this is good. Can I make a second confession?
Go on.
I have done 2 voiceovers in my career. I did the Slimline Christmas Tree, but my first ever voiceover many years ago, when I think I was chosen because I have a certain working class air, was me saying, "Don't know where to start. Exchange and mark." Yes, it was a very stressful day at the studio doing that voiceover. The bloke basically just picked on me. And he kept making me doing it over and over and talking about my motivation and stuff.
Did you keep changing the manner in which you said it?
Well, when I did it... Sorry, we're not running over time here, are we? I keep expecting that the news will come on. I seem to have talked right through the news, the travel, the next show.
We pay no mind to these mere trivialities.
No, I mean, we're in Preston. Why should we care what's happening on the channel generally? What was I talking about? You
were talking about, don't know where to start, exchange and
mark.
So
I went in... And, I'll have to tell you after, because I've said that, a slight panic has gone off and people have realised that actually we should have gone about 10 minutes ago. I can't believe it. Where's me rock?
Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio.
Absolute Radio.
I've very much mistimed my pastry eating.
I was just going to say, you're full of power chocolat.
Could you just tell us a story while I'm...
Well, I can tell you a text we've had in on 81215 regarding ads people hate from Marcello. Oh, I like the sound of Marcello. Tony Blackburn doing the Slim Fast ad. Oh, yeah, I don't like that. Do you know that?
People have got fabulous memories. I thought they would all be contemporary things, but no, it's Lord Olivier's been mentioned.
Orson Welles.
This shows the disappointment from these adverts can last for years and years and years.
Yeah, I'm glad that people hold grudges over these things. So speaking of grudges, Gareth, I'm sorry to announce to our listeners who've been very anxious about whether or not you won the best newcomer.
Voted in their thousands.
Yeah. So the Chortle Awards were this week, and as
Monday.
You haven't mentioned it.
No.
Oh.
You can read into that. I didn't win, but then I don't tend to win things. So I'm used to it.
I don't know, you won the competition that got you this job.
That's true. Say why you would like to work with Frank Skinner in 40 words.
Yeah, exactly. There weren't that many.
Or less. You went for the or less option.
Just lots of pleases.
Yeah.
So tell us about
there was all that stuff about sleeping in a cardboard box. I think twanged a few heartstrings in the office
And that I've got a son. Yeah, no, it was. I was so nervous. I felt absolutely sick. It's a really big deal for comedians, isn't it? Chortle is a website. I don't know if people know about it.
So far as to
say so I was just clinging to the people I knew at first, and then I decided.
You physically clinging?
Yes, physically clinging to people I knew.
Like Hoggy Bear?
Nervous. And then I thought maybe I should go around and talk to some people. You know, because
that's not like you at all.
I know.
I was going to say, that's always nice at a social event, talking to people.
Gareth tends to stand facing the wall.
Well, Daisy
Rocking.
makes me do that.
So tell us what happened then. Who did you speak to? Who won?
Well, I'll answer the first question.
Okay.
The first person I spoke to was a lovely man called James Kettle, who is a comedian, but now he mostly, I think, like writes reviews and stuff for The Guardian. So he does like the comedy suggestions bit in The Guardian newspaper.
What I like about James Kettle is if you keep an eye on him, he never ever loses his temper.
Oh. So he's a comic turned critic. That's interesting.
Yeah, I bet he's not at all bitter.
And
So what did the Kettle have to say?
Well, I thought I had quite a nice chat with him. And just talking, and it was a bit awkward, as a lot of my social
I heard he was a bit
exchanges are.
hypocritical about Paul Potts.
Oh.
Some suggestion that he was Afro-Caribbean. Couldn't work it out.
So I chatted to him and said, I better go and talk to some other people. And he goes, oh, no, I wouldn't do that if I were you. He said, you seem a bit sort of weird and tipsy. I had a glass of wine, but I'd had a couple of sips. I was on my first glass of wine, and you said, yeah, I wouldn't talk to anyone else if I were you. You seem a bit weird and tipsy.
Oh, that's a bad review.
Yes. I mean, the fact he was reviewing your conversation is not good.
So, yeah, I completely lost confidence.
Well, you
after
would
that,
lose
and,
confidence after that.
Ran back to some people I knew. But there was some, like Eddie Izzard was there. Amanda
he's
Iannucci
nice. I
got
like
an
him.
award.
Was he running? Was he holding a flag and running? Eddie? He can't stop now.
He was on his 4 Snickers of the evening. He's got very confused.
Yes.
I bet
He looks like he's on his 4 Snickers.
Did James Kettle say, stop eating that Snickers, you've gone a bit weird?
Yeah, exactly. Oh, Eddie, can I just stop running? I'm imagining that's how the Kettle talks. I'm calling him the Kettle.
But it was nice. As the evening went on, I just found people I liked and hung out with them, and it was lovely.
So you avoided the Kettle, is
Yeah.
what you're saying.
Oh, I wish I'd gone. I only went to the Kick-Ass premiere with Brad Pitt. Anyway...
Anyway, I think on that note...
Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio. Absolute Radio.
Chris Ramsey has entered the studio. Woo! Good morning, Chris. And he's wearing as young men often do nowadays, he's wearing a woolly hat.
I knew when I put it on, I thought he's going to have something to say about this.
Well, when you
Definitely.
look through the hatchway of the door, I thought, oh, pizza. No, it's the guest. If I was your age, I'd wear a woolly hat. It's very fashionable. I've noticed. I notice things. I just don't. I don't feel right to join in.
Yeah. As soon as I put it on, I thought, yeah, this is going to be a talking point. Sadly.
Well, I think it's
I like it in a sort of X Factor audition-y way.
Oh no, that's exactly the look I was going for.
So, Chris, well, where do I begin? You are about to do an Edinburgh show. In Edinburgh.
the first one, yeah.
That's your first one-man show.
Yeah.
So what have you done previously in Edinburgh then? Have you sort of joined in on others?
Yeah, well, I did the Comedy Zone last year.
Well, I believe Gareth Richards did that very
I
show.
thought I recognised that man.
Did the Comedy Zone with me.
Of course I did. Yeah, it was great.
And is it all fabulous camaraderie and comedy mateship?
Definitely, yeah. It was a bit awkward at first. Gav's quite quiet, and when I'm with someone quiet, I tend to overcompensate and talk loads, just total verbal diarrhea. And I think does he know about the jacket? He must know about the jacket.
I think should we say about it?
Yeah, let's talk about the
Yeah,
jacket.
I
two
mean,
naughty
Gareth is weird and tipsy, so don't feel bad.
Well,
at
that's
the
even bad.
conversation.
Yeah, well, the quietness put up with that, it just sent me into overdrive.
Yes, I think the quietness is a symptom of that. So what's with the jacket?
Well, I wore for the Comedy Zone. I wore a lovely blue jacket for most of it.
When you say lovely...
yeah, it is lovely.
Okay.
You've seen it. And then
Yeah, I know.
when
I think she has. That's why she gave that reaction.
for our first preview of it, we went into the dressing room, and I went straight in, hung the jacket up, and then Chris walked in. Then what happened then, Christopher?
I thought it had just been left there, and I walked in. I was just trying. I was like,
look at this jacket. Who'd wear a jacket like that? Look at it. It's from the past. What kind of an idiot wears a jacket like that?
And then he started saying, "Oh, it's mine," and I thought he was winding us up. I was going, "Oh, of course it is," and I started like putting it on, and then he was like, "Look, can I please have my jacket back?"
You ripped the
Chris,
sleeves off it.
Unbelievable! It was unbelievable. I was mortified. It's one of them moments where, you know, when you remember something embarrassing and you make an involuntary noise, you go like, "Ah!" Like, I do it. If I remember it, I make a noise. It was tragic, but I think it made a strong bond.
Yes, but I mean, have you forgiven him, Gareth? Because I know you're a man to bear a grudge.
Yeah, no, never. I'll never give him that.
Okay.
Right, I'm leaving.
I feel like we've got the twins in the back of the car, Frank.
Yes. Can you reach back and slap one of them and tell them to shut up? And tell them we'll be there in a minute and they can't have a drink of water.
Yeah.
Ow! Get off.
So, Chris, it's a big step, isn't it? The first one man show?
Yeah, it's terrifying. Yeah, I go through days of some days I sit and I look at it all and I think, yeah, this is going to be brilliant. And then the next day I look at the same stuff and I think, what am I thinking? This is going to be absolutely terrible. It goes from days of being terrified to days of being really chuffed with it. It's really strange.
That's comedy. Well, we'll talk a bit more about that. What I'm going to do is I'm going to press in a minute my Frank Skinner ID, as it's called. Just letting you in on the workings of... there's a George Formby lyric where a woman gives him a pocket watch that's and it's completely empty. And she says, "I'll give you the works tomorrow night." Comedy hasn't changed much.
Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio. Absolute Radio.
Talking of reviews, we've had a review in about Gareth.
Can I remind you, we've got a guest in. It's all about him at the moment.
Let's read this review out for Gareth because this is great.
It's from Paul Herbert. He says, "We saw Gareth warming up for Rod Gilbert on Thursday, and most people thought he was tipsy. Until I told them that's how he normally sounds on your show."
Oh, poor Gareth. He's getting a reputation for being a drunk.
Brilliant.
No, people do assume that about me, I think, that I'm either drunk or on drugs.
Well, that's what threw me off. At the beginning. Yeah, I thought he's not going to mind. It's definitely not his jacket. It's your jacket.
So you were warming up for Rod Gilbert. Has he gone to stud? You know they have the teaser horse that goes in. You know the teaser horse that goes in and gets the mare ready. When I say the mare, I don't mean the man I was speaking to yesterday from Blackpool. I don't think anyone had got him ready. But yeah, and then when the mare is at the very point of readiness, they'd take the teaser away, and the important horse comes in, the Rod Gilbert horse. Yeah, it's a terrible job.
Yeah,
I'm learning stuff.
Yeah. So, Chris, it's your Edinburgh show then. Obviously, Edinburgh's in August. So, what stage are you at? I'm interested to know.
Well, because it's the first one, I kind of had the idea for it before I even did the Comedy Zone, so I've sort of been building the stuff up for a little while.
What is the idea for it?
The show is called Agrophobic, not agoraphobic.
Right.
Agrophobic.
Oh, I thought it was a spelling mistake when I saw it.
Yeah, that's what I might get it hyphenated because everyone's thinking that I'm just some kind of idiot. My spell check doesn't work on my PC. Yeah, it's about sort of just different situations that I get in where I'm quite, even though I say things like that to Gareth, I am quite sort of out in public and in the street. I'm quite sort of standoffish. Just if someone comes up to ask for directions, I immediately just think he's going to hit us. It's like I'm just, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's about that and different situations around that. And
that can happen in the northeast, though.
Yeah, it happens a lot.
I remember my dad got in one night, and he was about 61 at the time, and all his hand was swollen up. And I said, "What's happened?" He said, some guy come up to me and said, "Have you got the time?" He said, "I'm not falling for that one."
Yeah.
I said, "What did you do?" He said, "I hit him. He went over a garden." He said, "That's what they do." He said, "They say you got the time. Then when you look down, The
new one, apparently, what I heard the other day, the new one is someone will come up and ask you for directions. And then when you go, "Oh, I'll just check Google Maps," and you whip your iPhone out, bump, they've got your iPhone. That's the new one, apparently.
Well, I can understand. I think you deserve that.
Yeah,
just check Google Maps. What if I go up to someone and say, "Excuse me, but who's Gertrude Schilling?" They'll say, "Hold on, I'll just Google it." I mean, is that how it works? By the way, I don't send in...
That happened to me on the way here, actually. I can't believe it.
Yeah, exactly. They always say Gertrude Schilling. I mean, they need to broaden their catchment area, because people now are getting onto the Gertrude Schilling thing. Can I say that Gertrude Schilling used to be an old lady that wore elaborate outfits every ascot?
Hats specifically, yeah.
Specifically hats, but elaborate outfits. In fact, her act has been completely stolen by Lady Gaga, who's based her entire act on Ladies' Day at Ascot. So, Chris, you've done quite a lot of support work.
Yeah.
And no one ever thinks you're drunk.
No, it's strange, isn't it? I think that's what I'm doing wrong. I've been really lucky. Well, just last year I got to support Lee Mack and Russell Kane. I'd done some of the tour with Russell Kane. And Jenny Eclair, actually, I supported Jenny Eclair. That was a one-off, but that was she can be a handful. It was mental, right? She got in my car, I picked her up. I was driving from Manchester to Oldham.
Oh, you had to drive her as well?
You got in a car with her?
I said I would, because it was like, she was like, oh, what time should I meet you there, whatever. And I said, look, I'm driving. She was staying in Manchester, and we're driving to Oldham, and it was only like a 15-minute drive. So I said, look, I'll pick you up. So I picked her up. She got in my car. She didn't say hello. She didn't say anything. She just looked at us and went, oh, you look just like my daughter.
Did you have your hat on?
Well, no, I didn't. I had my hair out, the locks were flowing and everything, but I thought, I don't know, I thought I must be one good-looking lad. It was really, I didn't know what to make of it. It was really funny. I went,
it's the thing you want to break people into.
Yeah, it was really strange, but she was lovely. Yeah, it was great.
I think she's probably tipsy and a bit quiet. No, she's definitely not a bit quiet. But you're about to support Al Murray, and that's a massive tour, isn't it?
Yeah, it was. I got informed of that on Wednesday. I got the phone call, and I was just silent on the phone for ages. And then Daisy actually phoned us afterwards. I
should say that Daisy is today producing the show.
Yeah.
Normally she just makes the tea. But they said, well, up north she'll be able to run the whole studio. I thought it was a bit patronising.
I'm a duke here.
Yeah.
Let's not push it too far.
No, but yeah, I got told on Wednesday about that, and I was just over the moon. It was just one of them things. I supported Al in December. We did like a one-off gig in Dubai together. And
How was that?
It was awesome. It was terrifying. It was like the biggest venue I'd done. And it was just great. I mean, Dubai is really strange, really, really strange place.
I've never been to Dubai, actually. I don't fancy it much.
It's very weird. There's no centre. It's just sort of a collection of hotels in different areas and taxis from each one.
And footballers playing keepy-uppy on the beach wearing suits, no doubt.
And people playing tennis on that helipad at the top of the Burj Al Arab. Yeah, it was crazy. It was. I mean, the sort of just, I don't know. It's sort of them places where I think they're just throwing money at. I got off the plane in Dubai. This is how weird it was. I got off the plane, and the guy who was meeting with said, "Oh, well, there's your car. We'll put you in the car and you can go all the way to your hotel. I can't come to the hotel with you though because I'm actually waiting for the Backstreet Boys to come off a plane." And I was like, straight away, I was like, all right. I had panicked a bit. I thought I wasn't in a plane. I was in a time machine. I'm back in 1998 when they had a career. You know what I mean? It was really weird. But
maybe he's just a massive fan. He waits there all the time on the off chance the Backstreet Boys.
Well, they did actually come. It was great.
Oh, that's fabulous news.
Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio.
Absolute Radio.
We're with Chris Ramsey. And Chris Ramsey, you're teetering, or have throughout your life, teetered on the working with animals option.
Yeah, it's always a backup plan in my head, yeah.
Have you ever done anything about it? You've never actually done it?
No, I haven't even got a dog. I'm working towards getting a dog, but I'm
That'll be a start.
Yeah.
You can conduct operations at home, as long as you sterilise everything. So, have you ever... Is it still an option? Because you do get a lot of... My dentist is also a comedian, so you can do two jobs.
I've genuinely always said that if this comedy doesn't pan out, if it starts going stale, or I'd just stop enjoying it, I would genuinely consider going and working in a zoo. I just think it would be great. I watch all day on Animal Planet and stuff on Sky. I just watch all these daft Animal Park and Zoo Vet at Large and things like that. I just love them, man. It's just great.
Have you ever been to Monkey World in Dorset?
No, I've heard about it. I've never been.
Oh, it's absolutely
near
marvellous.
me. You should come and stay and we could go.
Have you been?
I haven't been.
They wouldn't let you in because you thought you were drunk. Yeah. Oh, it's that bloke. You know that drunk bloke? Yeah, it's good there because they're not completely... There's a sense that they're not completely behind bars. They're sort of knocking around.
They're not working behind the burger thing and that, are they?
Yeah, you can be looking at monkeys in a cage and say, "Oh, look at the behind on that one," and turn around to speak, and it's another monkey looking in.
It's like being in a lap dancing club or something, really.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is.
Yeah, I'm lost on that one.
It's a bit.
Must be different in London.
They'd be brilliant in a pole dancing club. I mean, they'd have their hands free to do what they could juggle while they were pole dancing. Well, I think it's a noble. I mean, I think it's a very noble thing to be a comic, and I'm sure it won't come to it that you need to quit that, because I've seen you work and you're very funny. However, I think I can see the lure of working in a zoo.
Yeah, I just genuinely think it would be great. I mean, there's obviously, they don't, you know what I mean, on all the documentaries and things I watch, they don't just show you the bloke who has to muck out the dung for, like, all day. They don't show you him and follow him around all day.
No.
But, you know what I mean, they always show you the good ones who get to play with, like, the otters and stuff.
Well, perhaps they all do a bit of dong shifting. Yeah. And it's not one man who has to do it.
And you get to stand by an operating table going, "We're all rooting for you, pup." That's what Rolf used to say.
Yeah, I tell you what, I wonder, when an elephant dies at the zoo, what do they do with the body? Because it takes some. You couldn't just leave it by the bin.
Well, they send the legs to kebab shops.
Is that what they do? I think that could be. Maybe they just feed them to the other animals. That'd be terrible. If you were going past the lion pit and you saw a trunk in there, I mean, you'd presume they were going on holiday, obviously. Look, Chris, it's been lovely talking to you. And
Thank you.
I hope I shall come and see your show in Edinburgh. I'm sure it'll be a roaring success. If anyone wants to see you sooner than that, where should they go?
Just go on my website. It's got all my gigs list on.
There you go, Chris Ramsey. Go and check him out. And
ChrisRamseyComedy.com.
There you go, ChrisRamseyComedy.com. And he's also supporting Al Murray. And it's good to see you, Chris. Thanks for coming on.
Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio. Absolute Radio.
We've had some text
I noticed,
in.
by the way, can I say in the toilet, that there's Michael Bolton's silver disc is in the cubicle. In the
What, the
men's
one from
toilet.
his skull?
Yeah, Mike. I mean, I think, is that a bit disrespectful to Michael Bolton? I should say we're at Rock FM in Preston, which is obviously named after the confectionery because we're this close to Blackpool, rather than the music.
Okay.
But yeah, the Michael Bolton silver disc is in the top. If I had Michael Bolton's silver disc, I'd put it where everyone could see. eBay.
Don't hide it away. We've had some texts in about irritating adverts, celebrity adverts.
Oh, yes?
One is from one of our regular texters in. I love him, Steve at the Village Bakery in Birchington.
Oh, yes.
Frank, have you seen the new Vanessa Feltz advertising pig iron?
Oh, she's got pig iron! She's got all pig iron! I haven't seen that, but I look forward to seeing it. Does she do the call? I hope she does. Or does she just do the sound effects, the oinking?
Carl from London is reminding us of Michael Winner flogging Eshaw. Calm down, dear. Oh, I hated that.
He called Christian the other morning.
Did he?
And he began by saying, "It's only me. Calm down, dear." I mean, he can't resist doing it. He loves, some people, they get a bit touchy about their catchphrase, but Michael Winner, he doesn't really want to say anything else. He's happy to just say
He's so
that.
excited he's got one.
I sat next to him at a posh do once, and I had a little Laurel and Hardy badge on, and he said, "Oh, do you like Laurel and Hardy?" And I said, "Yes, I do." He said, "Oh," he said, "you should talk to Marlon Brando." I said, "Okay, what's his number?" "Marlon, you don't know me, but I'm a big Laurel and Hardy fan." I mean, can you imagine? Anything else?
Yeah, we've also had, now he's chosen to remain anonymous, but there's a funny reference to John Lydon acting as some butter lord.
That's exactly what he is. He's a butter lord.
He's a butter lord.
Sorry, I'm just trying my ukulele.
Oh, I love it.
Oh, if women like them, like men like those, why don't women like me? Hey, hey, why don't women like me? Was Martina Navratilova there with her new single? Well, that's all splendid news. I see that someone else cried on Piers Morgan.
Oh, another one.
Can you believe it? You have to cry if you go on. I can't think of another show where you have to cry.
Yeah, it's Jerry Halliwell now.
Yeah, and I like Jerry Halliwell. I've always been a fan of hers.
Oh.
Oh, it's all right you being like that. She's the only person now, two people, in all the people I interviewed, when I don't know if you know, but I used to have a chat show in the old days. And that nearly killed me. And there's only two guests ever gave me a present.
Oh.
Martin Kemp gave me a book about Elvis.
What did he give you, a sofa from World of Leather?
No, he wasn't doing it there. I don't think it's World. Has he moved to World of Leather?
Oh, I don't know.
And And Jerry bought me some pants.
Oh.
That's a
Some
nice
Calvin Klein pants. Proper Calvin Klein. Not Calvin Classics off the market. Proper Calvin Klein white boxers.
I bought you those as well. As a joke, I hasten to add.
Yeah, but I mean, you're a close friend of mine. She was just a guest on. And I'll tell you something else about Jerry Halliwell. A friend of mine went to the ladies' toilet. It's gone very toilety today, but it's a clean story. This went to the ladies' toilet at London Weekend Television. As Henry Norman always used to say, 3 of the most overrated concepts in popular culture. And they went to the ladies' toilet, and Jerry, they heard this voice saying, sorry, and Jerry was sitting on the toilet with the door wide open. And she said, I'm sorry, I can't shut the door, I get agoraphobic.
Wow.
Oh, I can imagine that.
What about everyone else's phobia about seeing a Spice Girl on the toilet?
Exactly.
I'd be, I don't know, I'd be all right with that.
You could sit on a wicker chair
I'd
in
get the
front
wicker
of
chair up, yeah. And we could talk about girl power. I'd be very happy.
Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio. Absolute Radio.
So what are we going to do today? We're going off to your George Formby convention.
Yes, I sound very nervous. I have to perform there in front of all these George Formby experts. We've got to do that. I should say we went for a meal last night in Blackpool.
That was lovely.
It's a place called Toast.
It was.
We couldn't order toast, could we? I thought it was a toast-themed restaurant. All sorts of toast.
That would be it. I think a restaurant where you could get all sorts of things on toast would be... write that down, will you?
Okay, yeah.
Of course, because, being drunk, you'll obviously forget it. Yeah, and we were walking down the street and we heard... I was walking down the street. I saw a blind man on a poster. Any Fall fans will get that. Everyone else will think, how does this bloke get
Frank
work?
is doing an impression of Marky Smith.
Yes, and we heard music, didn't we?
We did. We had specifically Pet Shop Boys music.
Yes.
So I thought maybe it was some
Yes.
sort of flamboyant nightclub.
Yes, theatrical nightclub.
Yeah.
And then we saw some giant metal structures that looked like the world was being invaded by aliens.
It was very War of the Worlds, and there was a light show going on, and it was just in a quiet... No one was around. It was just a quiet side street, this elaborate light show coming from this space-age structure.
11-metre-high arches. There's 6 11-metre-high arches going down the street with
Hold on. How do you know they were 11-metre high?
I googled it.
Oh, you googled it.
It's called Brilliance.
Is it called Brilliance?
Yeah.
Well, that's exactly what I called it.
It's
It was a
amazing.
marvellous moment. I was having my photo took with a passing family.
Well, you say family. Initially it was one man, and then the Waltons appeared with the Staffordshire Bull Terrier.
I did have. I actually held the dog's lead for the photo. It was
like your autobiography.
It wasn't the same Staffordshire Bull
Was it
Terrier.
not?
That would have been 1,000,000 to 1 shot. That was Bobo.
Oh, him and his
One of
dogs.
them was called Bobo. I can't remember what the other one was called.
Anyway,
Yeah.
Anyway, what?
you were in the middle of saying.
Oh, sorry. But often when people say anyway, I think they're going to add something. Yeah. So I had my photo took with the Staffordshire Bull Terrier.
And we're going on the
family.
pier today, aren't we? We're going to go on the pier.
Yeah. Look out for the sooty plaque.
Oh, I won't be bothering with that. I've got Madame Arcati or whatever her name is. to
Madam
see.
Todd Carty. Well, I look forward to that. Hasn't she got... Oh, no, that was... I think
got-
he recovered from that, didn't he?
I've got rock to eat, and I won't be going on the rides. I don't know if you boys will be, but I won't be.
No, I don't
No,
like
I
the
don't like
rides.
rides.
Don't
We
you
all
like
not
it either?
rides. No.
Why don't you like it?
I find them too frightening.
Do you know why I don't like it? Because I just think if I want an adrenaline rush, I will just walk through Moss Side or something wearing a Rolex. No, but it's true.
Yes.
I don't get an adrenaline rush. I don't want
If you
one.
want an adrenaline rush, you're going to Morrison's.
Yeah. And just get outraged.
No, when I started going out with Laura, we went on the waltzes.
You're not going to
and I
tell
thought-
me that you've ever had an adrenaline rush. I'm going to get you one for Christmas. Go on, you went on the
we went
waltzes
on the
with Lot.
waltzes, and I got terribly sick. I was green, and the man, they come over and spin them. I was going, "Get away from me! Get away!"
I'd like to have seen that.
It's dreadful.
Also, can you imagine if something terrible happened? If I died, it would say, "Here lies Emily, who lost her life on the log flume." That's dignified.
Yeah. That's no monument, you see.
No.
Found... It's like being
Flushed away.
discovered here by Harry Corbett. Anyway, you should go and see Madame Patra Lengo.
Oh, I will.
Apparently she did predictions for Morecambe and Wise. She's got the picture in the window with Morecambe spelled Morcomb. So one thing she didn't predict was spell check. Anyway, good day to you.
Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio.
Absolute Radio.